All right, so welcome everyone to our Saturday sessions with Autumn, and today is trusting your trucking gut. And so we have some guest speakers, some experts here to share their experiences in the health and wellness space. But this is a very interactive presentation. The chat is not being recorded, so you're welcome to communicate by chat. And please share your information because that's also the benefit of being here live. Being also that it's being recorded, it'll be shared out amongst our community. So just keeping that in mind. Cameras are optional. And so, feel free to come on or off, but we always ask first and foremost, safety, safety, safety. If you are on the road, please pull over, take a moment so that you can focus. Definitely tap in and listen if you're on the road and got to keep it moving. I totally understand that too, but just want to make sure everyone keeps safety in mind. So I'm a little parliamentarian here, so I'm going to start with honoring our leadership. And so, Miss Donna, if you would do your introduction, I yield to you.
Good morning. Good morning. Great to see everybody. My name is Donna Shepherd. I am the co-founder of the African American Women Trucking Association. I'm also a professional driver and the director of driver relationships with AUTA. It's always amazing to come hang out with you guys. There's always good stuff here. And I'm kind of very excited now that I've eaten the pumpkin cake roll to see what I'm going to do differently for the rest of the day. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you, Ms. Donna. So let's go down our roster. If you don't feel like coming on camera or mic, just let me know in the chat or feel free to put your information directly in the chat and I'll kind of read the room, right? And so our next person here, Michael Dennis, are you available to come on camera? Say hello, do an intro.
Hello, everyone. Michael Dennis, 18-year truck driver, owner, operator, broker, dispatcher, jack of all trades, I guess, when it comes to the industry. I'm just on here to support Lotta. We've had several conversations ourselves behind the scenes, just talking and networking. So I'm just here to support. So hello to everyone.
Thank you, Michael. Look, you just made me smile. I was before you came. No, I think you might have even been on. I was kind of whining, and so look, I feel better now. Just off that comment alone, just feel like we're here for a purpose, and thank you for being here. All right, Miss Pamela Baker. Miss Pam, are you available to come on mic or camera? All right, she may be moving around.
Okay,
Oh,
there we
there she
go.
is.
Now,
There we go.
problem end user error. Sorry. Hi, I'm Pam Baker. Thanks, Lotta. And this is my favorite time of the year. I love all things pumpkin. So I too am excited to hear all the recipes. I'm with Masters of Motion Logistics, and we're a company based out of Dallas, Texas. We create automated applications for the trucking industry, and we have a new app coming out here soon this month that will focus in on safety and compliance for our drivers and inspections, as well as offer opportunities for our drivers to conveniently be connected with different products and services, CDL companies, insurance companies, et cetera. So we're super excited to be here today, and thank you for this opportunity. Many know, Lotta especially, this is a very personal topic for me. I did lose my favorite uncle. He's a truck driver for 25 plus years. So industry based, not really taking care of his health. And unfortunately, he passed away. So I'm looking forward to today's discussion. So thanks, Lotta.
Thank you, Pam. And look, no tears, because yeah. And Kiosha, I was actually about to go to you, but you're at work in all ears. If I may share with your permission, she is a 8-year plus CDL driver of I was going to kind of because I said with permission and then I just went on into it, right? So she can share, but please be careful since you are at work. Just letting you guys know about her in the room. Our next person then is Mr. Reginald White. Would you like to do an intro, sir?
Sure. Good morning. My name is Reginald White. I'm with White and Associates. We're an insurance company. We're a brokerage firm. What we do is we help unemployed people obtain insurance. We help people that are self-employed get benefits. I would say corporate style benefits that pay you if you have an accident, if you came down with an illness. And we also do health insurance, Medicare, and life insurance. One of the things that I find with my many customers that are in the trucking business is they lack these type of benefits, especially if they're self-employed. Okay, they're looking for certain benefits that will take care of them in any type of an accident situation rather than just in traffic. So I could pay you $20,000 just for a slip and fall if you spend one night in the hospital because of an accident. These kind of things are available to you. And we pride ourselves as being educators and helping people understand the ins and outs of insurance so that you can properly protect yourself. I'm going to put my information in the chat box, so feel free to reach out if you guys need anything, or even if you just have any questions about health insurance, life insurance, dental vision, and supplemental insurance as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And so we've got two people that they're still kind of struggling with getting on, but like I said, the show must go on. And so, Miss Raquel, thank you for being patient. I've been kind of saving your intro and everything here. She's probably like, she told me to come and talk, and I haven't really had the opportunity at all. But the stage is yours. Please tell us about yourself and your connection to this mission.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Raquel Perez. First and foremost, Leda, thank you for allowing me to be on here this morning and participating because it really is a passion for me to be able to help empower and educate our communities, right? Because we just don't know what's available. So a little bit about me. My background is really interesting. I actually started my journey, my corporate ladder as a computer engineer. I did that for several years. And in the seasons of life of transitions, I decided to go back to school and study anthropology, specifically medical anthropology, focusing on the gut-brain axis. So that is my passion on how the gut is connected to literally everything in our body. And so what I consider myself, if it's not a health and wellness coach, it's a professional encourager because I encourage people to start their health journey. I encourage people on their day-to-day life and just to really focus on their whole well-being, the totality of who we are as human beings. So I will go down the rabbit hole of my story, but I'm throwing it right back to you later.
Thank you, thank you. And look, I already could tell you guys, and look, I'm excited because this is going to be one of those high level type conversations. So, with that being said, it is my pleasure to introduce Garrett. Garrett, I'll let you do your introduction.
Hey, I am excited and happy to be here. Thank you, Lotta. So, quick title drop. I am the allyship coordinator for the African American Women in Trucking Association, and I'm very, very grateful that I was approached by the organization, offered the opportunity to give back and support the mission that is AUTA. Raquel, I am really excited to talk with you today. I am all about the gut brain axis. I understand that we are just not a brain telling the body what to do. The body is getting signals and giving them to the brain. We're an integrated system. This is going to be awesome. I'm all about this. Anyway, so a bit about me. I've been trucking for about 8 years now. I started driving with my wife. It's something we wanted to do together. We decided that this was going to be the path for us to create our own financial freedom and personal freedom. And as we began our journey, I realized it took an immense amount of discipline to be a good driver, right? To chart a path thousands of miles across the country, to follow rules and regulations. And I also realized that weighing 360 pounds at the time, I had zero discipline, zero understanding of the mechanics of my body. And I, at 24, had fatty liver disease. I was in and out of the hospital all the time. My health was in the garbage, right? So what I decided to do was to take the discipline that it took to truck and turn it inward, educate myself the way I had in trucking, and take control of my health and my life. I got to do some really cool stuff in trucking. Like outside of my own personal health journey, I've hauled COVID vaccines. We do work for the federal government. I'm a military and government hauler. My wife and I have done some really, really amazing things. We work contracted for a company called Tri-State Motor Transit Co. right now. Most of what we do is AA and E. So that's a bit about me. I'll yield the floor though. Well, actually, sorry, one last thing. I'm working on launching a company right now. I'm very excited about. Um, I've been able to gather a large group of experts, a doctor network in all 50 states, and to be able to provide as a service transformation to the trucking industry, making affordable, life-changing medical therapies accessible to truck drivers on their schedules, because accessibility is something that we as truck drivers truly struggle with. Many of us are not inclined to go to preventative care visits on our off time, right? We're not inclined to invest in ourselves the way we invest in our equipment. And you have one vehicle, and it's you. And if you don't take care of that, you can't drive. You'll lose your physical, you'll lose your DOT physical, right? So that's that. I'll yield to you, Lotta.
All right, thank you. And no, look, getting into the nitty gritty of it already, I love it. But without looking, I'm sorry, wanted to, Nicole jumped on, and I'm just checking with her if she is ready to come on. This is our president and founder. There you go.
Hi. Hello, everyone. How are you? It's Saturday, and it's good to see your faces and your names again. Thank you so much for your support. I am Nicole Ward, your president and co-founder of African American Women Trucking Association, also known as ADA, where our mission is to increase the representation of women and men, right? Women and minorities, men, individuals, people that face barriers when it comes down to being a part of this industry. And so ADA's purpose is to make sure that we're able to provide a platform that could provide resources that could help you develop, that could help you excel and exceed and surpass where you used to be, right? Nobody wants to be where we used to be. So we're getting to this space so we can come together, we could pool our resources, we could pool energy, we could learn, grow, develop, thrive in this industry together. So I thank all of our leaders. I thank our hosts. I thank our community members. I thank you all, especially Lotta Love Hawkins, for making sure that we are in this space each and every each and every Saturday with a takeaway that we're able to learn, grow, and develop. So I challenge each and every one of you to meet someone here, right? Make sure you meet at least one person, network with somebody, but hey, have a takeaway and a nugget on this call, especially if this is a replay and you're catching the replay. Make sure you're gaining something from this call. This is part of your member benefit, guys, so make sure you're utilizing it. We thank you for all that you do, and we thank you for being a part of ADA.
Thank you, Nicole. So, as indicated, the chat is open. That part is not being recorded. If you are catching the replay, be mindful, everybody, as you're doing your presentation, to include your contact information as you're feeling comfortable. And so I'm going to be facilitating the conversation, kind of a simple Q&A if you want to jump in after the person whose question I assign has an opportunity to answer. Feel free to do that. We'll make sure there's space for response. All right. So starting off, let's just go to Raquel, and if you can, give us in simple terms for the average person to understand what is this whole gut brain axis? What is a gut biome?
It's such a fantastic question. So, the gut, our digestive system, our stomach, is really in scientific terms called our gut microbiota, which is comprised of millions, I mean, literally millions of bacteria. But honestly, in its simplest form, I always tell my clients it's good bacteria and there's bad bacteria. That's the simplest form. And so, what we want to always do is make sure that that's in balance. But when I say that there's the gut brain connection, it's because there is very literally two nerves that run that are connected to our digestive system, and it's called our vagus nerve, which means that yes, there is very literally communication between our stomach, our digestive system, and our brains that is constantly occurring. So that's why, for example, when you know you're going on an interview, right? You know you're going on an interview, but where do you feel it? You feel it in your stomach. You've got the butterflies. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm meeting with Garrett, and Garrett is going to interview me for the business. Oh my gosh. So that's where you're gonna feel it, even though the thoughts are happening here. The physical manifestation is here. So that is in its most simplest form without getting super geeky and nerdy. That's the answer to that question.
Look, we're here for the geeky and nerdy. And so we're going to jump in and let Garrett add to that. How do you think truckers better understand what she just mentioned?
I love that. So what I want to paint is that Raquel is already talking about how the human body is an integrated system. And so if you think about what happens in your stomach as not affecting what happens in your brain, and therefore and that it doesn't matter what food you put in your body, you're just wrong, right? If you put bad additives into the engine of your truck, right, it's going to run poorly, right? Or if you don't get an oil change, it's going to run poorly. The microbiome in your body reflects, and this is crazy, the decisions that you will make as a human being. And that's because the microbiome, the fauna, has the ability to send signals in short chain fatty acids that are picked up, right, by the vagus nerve that Raquel is talking about. And that's sent as communication through your nervous system. So if you eat nothing but sugar, right, the microbiome that lives in your body is going to make you want to keep doing that. So if you're trying to be healthy, you have to understand that not only do the decisions that you have made in the past have an influence in the decisions that you're going to make in the future because of your gut, but the decisions that you make now are going to change how much easier it is for you to be healthy in the future. Like I'm sure Raquel can get right into why probiotic supplements are so much of a big deal because of how that can influence your ability to go from where you are now to where you want to be.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Michael, if you're available, I saw that you were on camera. Kind of tell me in your own words what you gather from this conversation thus far, and if you'd like to kind of add anything to it.
Uh, well, coming from a trucker standpoint, basically just being healthy out there and conscious about what it is that you put into your body. As we all know, our body is our temple. It's a vehicle that drives us. And just like he said, if we put the wrong contents in our body, it can have long-term effects that keep us not in the proper health mind state and physically as well. Um, I know I try to eat a lot healthier. I try to watch what I eat out there on the road because it's easy to gain weight. It's not as easy to keep it or lose it. So I just try and I don't really eat as much. I probably eat maybe once, twice a day. I do fasting. So I know I've lost probably about 15, 20 pounds over the past 2, 3 months. So I'm almost back to my high school size. So I've lost quite a bit of weight myself and I just feel better. So I know that as I travel and go to these truck stops and see all the places, these truck stops, they don't have a lot of healthy options for us truckers out there, which is kind of disheartening. But it just takes a little bit of extra effort on your part to prep food if you need to, or buy fruit instead of a candy bar. So that's pretty much what I have on that.
Excellent, and congratulations. We're proud of you of making those changes and even feeling better. That was that bigger piece of it too. So thank you for sharing. Miss Donna, even adding on to what Michael just shared with us, in your experience driving, do you see it even slightly different from for women than men in managing your health?
Um, I think we are more conscious. When I get to this truck stop, I would, and I look around. The men, I mean, the men are about the miles. We all are about the miles, but they're laser focused on, getting in, grabbing something to eat and leaving. I think we're a lot more mindful as women because most of us, we cook in our trucks and we'll cook on an off day and that'll last us for the week. We'll buy our fruits. That's what in my experience I found in talking to and being friends with other lady drivers. We have everything we need in our truck. We have our microwave or our hot pot. We have every single thing in our truck, and I make sure, for me it's a Sunday thing. I would get everything I need on a Sunday, because sometimes you get to those receivers and you're there for God, uh, the hell of hours. And you can't just go run to Wendy's to get something. You got a big old truck. So I find that what in my experience, what the change in my life now that I'm not driving is when I was driving, I ate so much better, which is weird. I ate so much better, and I would actually, I did a dedicated account with Home Depot. I did a drop and hook, and I would park my truck in the middle of the turn lane, and I'd run across the street to Home Depot and run all the way around the back. And at first, I was doing it for the job just to make sure all that stuff was clear because Home Depot have a bunch of garbage in their parking lot, so I wouldn't tear up nobody's stuff. And then I realized, wait a minute, I'm losing weight here. So what ended up being part of the job, what started out as part of the job ended up being my exercise. I'm like, this is good. So I actually lost 40 pounds while I was driving in 2022. And I've gained it all back because I'm not driving right now. So yes, it's women tend to be more mindful on the road. But this is great information, Everybody should every man or woman, every driver needs to hear this.
Right, you actually hit on two areas at the same time. And look, we didn't rehearse this. And so it's kind of awesome to show the alignment of this conversation. But the first question, going back to Raquel, is just about the some of the, like, what's the word, hormones and things to consider in the females, more mindset, or not mindset, what's the word I want to use? But I think you know where I'm going with it. Just how females will process it, and then we're going to allow Garrett to explain more of the male side of it. I'm going somewhere with it. I don't mean to be so um, polarized in mentioning the men and women, but often
It's
in my
awesome. It's
experience,
awesome, Lada. It's awesome.
okay,
It's actually a great point.
I see a lot where people will see information and they don't take that necessarily into consideration, but it is, pretty much where we are biologically. So I yield to you, Raquel. How do women, and even the exercise point, which was another point we're going to talk more on Garrett because that's part of his secret to success. But let's talk first about just considerations with hormones.
So, as women, we know that our hormones are in a constant state of fluctuation, right? When we're young, we're going to puberty, and then we go into perimenopause and menopause and postmenopause. So, when we're going through those seasons, we're really not conscious of how it's affecting our body. And what's really interesting is that it's also connected to our gut. We don't think about it, but it really is. And so when we're going through those seasons, a lot of people don't realize as well is that as early as 35, as early as 35 as women, we can start to experience perimenopause. That doesn't mean that we're experiencing hot flashes right off of the onset, but our hormones are already starting to shift. Once we get to my season of life, because I'm proud to say I'll be 46 now in December. I'll say it loud and proud. But once you get to my season of life, your body is absolutely changing. And if we're not conscious of what we're intaking, it will affect our hormones. It will affect how we're sleeping, our moods. So as we go through and you're feeding, and I love that Garrett even touched about it, the probiotics, the prebiotics, the different supplementation that we are actually feeding into our digestive system will impact those hormones balance and imbalance, right? Because a lot of times we think that we have to automatically go to, the hormone therapies. There are options outside of that can help alleviate a lot of the symptoms that we experience, but we have to be aware that we're experiencing them. And that's why I really tell everybody, I'm like, listen, if you're 35 or older, sweetheart, welcome to the club. You're going through some sort of change in your body, but there are solutions that are able to help you feel better and really navigate that without having to reach for the sweets, because we will either go for the sweets, we will go for the salties, we'll go for the carbs, we'll go for the things that are comforting to us in order to alleviate that discomfort that we're feeling. And as far as exercises, I'm sorry, Lotta, go ahead, sweetheart.
Oh, no, go ahead. Keep going.
And as far as exercises, I tell everyone, I'm like, listen, you can't go from 0 to 100, which I'm sure Garrett understands that idea. You have to start somewhere. And so I tell my clients, I'm like, listen, if you usually have a sedentary lifestyle, start with something small. Start with exercise bands. You're not going to start with heavy weights if you've never lifted a weight in your life or it's been years. Start with exercise bands. One of the suggestions that I love telling people, and it tickles them, I'm like, listen, every time you go to the bathroom, you're squatting, right? You're sitting down to use the bathroom. I want you to squat 3 to 4 times every single time you go to the bathroom. I promise you, it sounds really crazy, but it's a really simple way to integrate some type of exercise in your legs. It makes all the difference in the world. So that there's a little tidbit.
Go ahead, Gary. Because look, kind of you guys are really in sync, and I'm just like really amazed with it. So,
Oh
Gary, go
no,
ahead.
I love that. So I want to go to the exercise part of what Krell just said. I love the idea of, hey, listen, you're squatting, throw in a few more, right? Like, come on, drop it. Put some work on those thighs. I love that. That's amazing. And I completely agree with you. So adding a little bit extra over time consistently is what produces results. And one of the things, before I talk about hormones, that I think a lot of people fail to understand is that losing weight is simple math. And it doesn't have to be that you have to go out, wake up 6 a.m., run 5 miles in a day, right? It doesn't have to be like that. You don't have to lift heavy weights out the gate. There's no real pressure, right? You can make a real change in your health trajectory by doing something as simple as, hey, instead of sitting, stand. If you work an office job instead of being a truck driver, right? You could stand and you'll burn more calories standing almost by a factor of 2 than you are sitting. right? Or, if you're a truck driver, you stop at the end of the day or you're on your 30-minute break, you throw in some exercise. Like the difference between you sitting in your truck watching YouTube and you walking through a truck stop watching YouTube is crazy. I can burn, like just looking on a Fitbit, right? 270 calories an hour just walking, looking at YouTube. Of course, you got to look around so you don't get hit by some crazy guy driving, speeding through the truck stop, right? But the difference between walking and sitting is 40 to 50 calories an hour. So 40 versus 270. So if you just change that little bit, there's 3,500 calories in a pound. So if every day, instead of sitting for 2 hours, when you're not driving, you're walking for 2 hours, the weight will fall off. Even if your diet is the same, as long as you're putting out more calories than you're taking in, small changes can make a big difference. But I really, really love the idea, Lotta, that you're talking about, which is hormonal changes. And Raquel really touched on this. And one of the things like I have a controversial opinion on is hormone therapies in relation to, for example, testosterone and these youth therapies. For some people, they're very beneficial and they help them meet their goals. But what I will say is that the human body, as we age, undergoes natural processes that are designed to increase our longevity. So for men, on the one hand, it may be something that you want to do to feel young, to feel strong, to go through testosterone therapy. But it isn't always the right thing for every person. And consulting with a doctor for that's super important because some men have a greater genetic disposition to have cancer if their testosterone levels are elevated, right? And so take what happens in the body, right? As an integrated system, when you have kids, like as a man, you develop a dad bod. And everybody looks at that as, oh, this is this awful, terrible thing, right? It's a natural process. And you have to be mindful as you can still be healthy at any age, but you also have to understand that if you disrupt a natural process too much, it can have unforeseen consequences that can be dangerous to your long-term health, that can keep you from being around to be there with your kids. So, when it comes to men and when it comes to, I would say, the the hormonal issues that we struggle with, gut affects it a great deal. Uh, what some of the research has shown is that certain foods, when eaten by men, can cause them to produce more estrogens or even androgens, right? Which can make issues that men deal with while they're aging worse. And so having a good culture, having a good gut flora can help you feel stronger, build more muscle, have more energy, and have a better libido. So it's all very, very connected because you are what you eat literally.
Very much so. That's awesome. I love the way you guys really fit together in your commentary. You're both wonderful speakers. So I want to first give you flowers for that. But I want to also talk about where you mentioned, Garrett, having a physician to oversee this. I want to yield the floor to Mr. White, Reginald White, to talk about just access to healthcare in the traditional sense and kind of the things that um, he can help in getting us the access. There we go. Just wanted to make sure he was still there. And then we'll talk about some ways between Raquel and Garrett and anybody else who wants to share other ways to make sure you're still getting this level of care for yourself. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. I'm still here. I'm taking a lot of notes. This is very interesting. It kind of falls right in line with what I'm trying to do to make some adjustments with myself. It seems like almost everybody I know is on some sort of a weight loss journey. to a certain extent. You may be, past your goal, or you may be trying to still reach a goal. And so I'm on that trying to reach a goal journey right now. So, and one of the things that I've done, I wear Fitbit, okay, and I try to go by it religiously. But the thing is I find that sometimes it's best to not just go to the gym and get on an elliptical and just do some endless, cycle. Just get up and do something else to just burn off that energy and put those steps on. Instead of going upstairs and work out in the gym, I go out and I clean out the garage and work in the yard. And I find that it's a whole lot more satisfying, and I get a whole lot more done than just running a hamster wheel. So, so that's one of the things that I'm finding in regards to working out. And as far as health insurance, and this is one of the difficult things to understand when you're self-employed or 1099, is that you do not know what you qualify for in regards to benefits. A lot of my trucking clients, they feel that the income that they make, the income that they make has to be the income that they use to qualify for a subsidy that would help them pay for health insurance. Okay, the number that you use is your adjusted gross. Your adjusted gross, I'm sure it's a lot different than the money you bring in, because the money you bring in takes care of your trucking, takes care of all kinds of other expenses, your write-offs. Okay, that number is over there. The number you walk home with is the number that you use to qualify for a subsidy that would help you pay for health insurance. So to give you an idea of what difference that could make is, let's say you have a family of three, okay? Your income is like $70,000 or somewhere in that area, take home, all right? It may be 150 before your expenses. That $70,000 would allow me to qualify you for a subsidy to get you and your family health insurance, dental, vision, and completely cover everybody with life insurance. And I could probably do that with maybe $200 or $300 a month. Okay. A lot of folks don't even know that opportunity exists. So therefore they stay away from even asking the life insurance question because they think it costs too much, the health insurance question because they think it costs too much, because they go the wrong direction to get these type of benefits. And even if you are employed with a company and you have these type of benefits that the company, kind of throw on you as you sign on, those benefits don't go with you. I'm sure you've been, throughout life, you're going to go from one job to the next, one company to the next. What happens when you do that? Everything that you've paid into as far as your health insurance, and a lot of times your life insurance as well through that company, goes away. All right. Now you're out here, you're self-employed, or either you're signing on with another company. Once you do that, you get these benefits again, you leave, and then you lose those benefits. What we do here is we give you that corporate style book of benefits that walk with you all the way through the rest of your life. So therefore, you can save money when you sign on with another company, because you can tell them to keep their benefits. You have your own, okay? And in my opinion, life insurance is just that. It's there for life. So it's not something that you sign on for and you lose. You sign on for and lose. It's something that you walk with for the rest of your days. And so, my opinion, it's best to have your own benefits in your back pocket. So therefore, you can walk with them for the rest of your days. And the thing about it is to have something to work the way it's supposed to work. It's there when you need it. It's not there because often, and you guys probably know this, often, like if you lose your health insurance for any reason, that's when things happen. Weird things happen when you're not insured. Okay, it seems to be that way. I've had a terrible week in regards to my clients. I had one lady that was hit. She's 70 years old, was hit by a car outside of her car, threw up on the windshield. Okay, the benefits that I'm talking about is going to help her, because she's in the hospital right now. She just had 3 surgeries. All right. When she walks out of the hospital, she's going to get that check for $20,000, and she's getting about $500 every day she's in the hospital. Okay, so she should walk out with maybe about $30,000-$40,000 in her pocket. These benefits are inexpensive, and folks don't even know they exist. Okay, when it comes to trucking, folks think about workman comp type benefits. These benefits pay you a one lump sum check for being in the hospital or for having any type of an accident. Okay. If you like, I can talk to you guys about this in detail. I talk about this stuff all day. It's my job. But if you like, I'll put my number in the chat. You guys can give me a call. I'd be glad to talk to you about them on an individual basis because insurance is kind of a personal thing. All right. But there's a lot out here you guys qualify for. You probably never even heard of, and you probably, would probably take advantage of them if you knew more about them. Okay. So my job is to go ahead and educate you guys and help you get the things that are going to help you guys move forward healthy, and also your family. Not to mention that we do IULs for your kids to make sure your kids obtain cash benefits for college. All right, the affirmative action has been wiped away, so therefore that safety net has kind of just dissipated. Okay, the way you counter that is with an IUL that will accumulate cash value at least when your kid is 18 years old. It's going to put them in college with a check of $60,000 in their pocket. All right. That benefit costs about $50 a month. Okay. So I can educate you guys on that. Next time around, I can bring some pointers and things like that to show you guys if you need. But I'll put my number in here. And if you guys have any questions, or if you have some questions right now, I'll be glad to answer them. But I'm here to help in any kind of way possible.
Thank you, Mr. White. And also, you'll find his contact information, White and Associates, in our marketplace. So if you visit our website, aawta.org, you'll see at the very top the navigation to go and visit the marketplace and be able to network with our business partners here at AUTA. And so, Ms. Raquel, can you share kind of off of what Mr. White just shared as well? Kind of bring it back as he was mentioning, tracking with the Fitbit. Just what are some pointers that you would give to anyone watching, listening on how to make sure they're recording their own journey?
So everyone's health journey is very individual, right? I love that Garrett counts calories and is counting his macros. I'll be honest, I don't. I'm very transparent. I really don't. I learned to listen to my body, and I also learned to listen to what are my triggers. I used to be very much an emotional eater. When I was stressed, when I was anxious, when I was sad, I've gone through several losses. So in that grieving process as well, my comfort was food. And so by being able to identify those things has really changed my relationship with food. But you have to start having that inward soul searching and really understand who you are as a human being and what are your triggers. Right? Because each person's health journey is different, yes, going to a medical professional is vital. You have to go and know what are your baselines. Do you have certain hormones or blood work levels that are elevated? You have to know where you're starting off at in order to start moving forward. For me, I've always been very consistent in going to the doctors every single year. Now, it's going to be funny because I'm not one that's really big into medicine. I will be really big on supplements before I do really big on medicine, but I do take care of myself and go to the doctors every chance I get, especially for the routine checkups. Because if you don't know what's happening, then you don't know how to fix it, and you also don't want to be reactive. You want to be proactive with your self-care. And I think that's something that's really, if I'm honest, it's lacking in our communities, is the fact that we are very reactive. We get on the scale and we take a look and we see, oh my gosh, there's a number on there that we're not happy with. We get we get our lab results back and we're like, oh my gosh, I have high blood pressure, thyroid, diabetes, prediabetes, fatty liver disease, all of these things. And that's when we're like, oh gosh, I need to make a change. Versus, I'll use myself as an example, the changes that I've started implementing in my life. Now, my young ones are following my lead. they're learning from that, and they're being proactive, excuse me, versus being reactive and getting to that point where I was like, hey, I'm being an emotional eater, I'm now gaining weight, I'm, all of these things. um Now they're not having to go through that same journey. Sorry, I think I went on a tangent. Did I answer your question?
Oh, you did, and great even segue to Garrett here in a moment, and then just a quick reminder as we're coming up to the top of the hour, we'll go and get some final reflections from our audience that are here live, so we can make sure we're getting those immediate questions maybe out the way, and then please share your contact information for the recording as we go around for this final reflections to make sure everyone knows how to get in touch with one another. So, Garrett, um, as she was saying, just not being reactive, but being proactive. Can you give us some tips again about
Absolutely.
tracking the journey?
Sure. So I want to go back to one thing you said. I don't count calories anymore. I just can't. It's I can't sit down with my family and be like, wait, wait, wait. I have to figure out how many calories are in this chicken breast, and I don't start eating without me. It's weird, right? You can't do that. As an individual, you can count your own calories, right? As an individual driving a truck, if you want to develop an understanding of what food really does to you and how much you're putting in versus you're putting out, I really recommend a calorie tracker. I used one religiously for 8 months, and it helped me drop 120 pounds in that time period because I created the structure through which I was able to achieve consistency. But once I achieved that, I was able to do it on my own because I developed the unconscious skills that I worked on consciously. I'd say though that everyone is absolutely going to have a different journey, and in some cases, it's not even necessary to use a caloric tracker because if you eat whole foods and you do it in such a way where when you're full, you stop and you eat nutrient dense, calorically light foods, it's very difficult to overeat, right? It's very difficult to actually go beyond your caloric needs. So while I love accountability tools, and my company, Trucker's Body Shop, offers an app that has accountability tracking, a barcode scanner, right? A meal planner, right? We tell you what foods are and are not safe inside of a truck stop or healthy to eat. Not everyone should or could use it, right? And not everybody is that organized, and nor should anyone be expected to be. Like, there's no right or wrong way to make things work for you. So when it comes down to reactive versus proactive, that's one of my favorite things. And I want to acknowledge you, Raquel. The journey that you're taking to and that is inspiring your children is super important, because when one person can be a beacon for other people, I don't think there's anything more worthwhile or more important in this world, especially for your kids. Like, seriously, props to you. That's amazing. I have one story that I am incredibly grateful for, and it is that when I lost my weight, my dad said, "Oh my God, Garrett, you're literally half the man you used to be. You weigh 200 pounds less." And he said, I have heart disease, and I want to be around for the family. What do I do? And I said, well, Dad, you got to start eating cleaner. You need to talk to your doctor. And he said, all right, I'm going to figure it out. I want to be around. If you can do it, I can do it. I said, all right, Dad, you got this. We got this. Let's go. And so Dad went out and he talked to his doctor, and his doctor recommended a book called How to Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease. It is entirely focused on eliminating all animal protein, all animal fats, and eating exclusively vegan. And he did it for a year and a half. And my dad has no detectable plaque in his body. He has no detectable signs of heart disease. And my dad is so grateful. And all the time he tells everybody about what he did. and how to do it themselves. And my dad's helped other people. And it's because I stood my ground. I invested in myself and I said, all right, this is where my life is going. And that made him feel like he could do that. And what you're doing for your kids and your network is going to set up a continual chain reaction where people could find themselves and what you're doing and what you're saying so that lives can actually change. And I love that. I love that's why everybody's here. And I think that proactive is everything because when you're driving a truck, you do preventative maintenance. Everyone knows the difference between preventative maintenance on an engine and in a truck and like not doing that preventive maintenance. The cost is substantial, right? A motor, $60,000 when it blows. And if you don't do preventative maintenance, 500, 600,000 miles instead of 1.2 million miles, that motor's gone. Boom. And so if you want to get the most out of your ride, which is you have to be proactive. And everyone knows, like, all it takes is an oil change every 40,000 miles, right? For a motor. It's really pretty much the same for a person, right? It's you make small steps where you check in, you're aware, like Raquel says, you're aware of what your body's telling you. We're aware of what the gauges say in a truck, right? We have to be aware of what our gauges are telling us. We have to be in touch with that and we have to act on that in small, sustainable ways, or our motors blow up.
Right, look, and we don't want I can't even talk. We
It's a lot
don't
more
want one of
expensive.
those. This is so good, you guys. You guys are just on top of it. So, Miss Donna, we yield to you, and then we're going into our final reflections.
Okay, great information, everybody. Oh my goodness. So you guys have made me want to push that pumpkin pie away, and you guys have really, really motivated me. The question, you said your dad uh he stopped, you know, eating animal protein. Is that what you did also, besides counting calories? And
No,
me
no.
and one more question. And animal protein. So did he just stop eating meat and fish? Everything and just eat plants?
Yeah, so my dad completely cut out all animal protein throughout his journey to follow the prevent and reverse heart disease book. But after he cut it all out, he reincorporated healthy fatty fish into his diet and ethically, like organically sourced protein. And once he'd gone through the journey, so the reason he did this is because when you remove cholesterol from your diet entirely, and you eat only plants, your body has the ability to absorb the cholesterol from your bloodstream, absorb the plaque from your bloodstream because it's no longer being brought into your body. And cholesterol is actually a necessary function to how your body works. So it pulls everything out, ungunks your system. And then if you eat like a healthy diet after that, it's totally fine. So that's what he's done. To answer your other question, for me, I eat a lot of fatty fish. I eat a lot of berries. I eat a lot of salad. I eat a lot of nuts. What I did to lose the weight was keto and intermittent fasting. For me, I found that as long as I was eating once, twice a day, and that I was eating like from good food sources, not just like, oh, bacon and cheese, but like nutrient dense food that I could lose the weight and feel healthy. So, I'm not vegan. You don't have to be vegan to lose weight, in my opinion. Um, and there's many ways, as long as you're avoiding processed food, as long as you're eating nutrient, like again, I'll say this one more time, nutrient dense, calorically light food, you're gonna feel healthy, you're gonna lose weight, you're gonna achieve your goals.
Perfect, perfect. Michael, did you have any questions or comments for our speakers?
No, just great information. I agree with everyone. I definitely like the app being able to go in and view what is actually good for me. I think that will help truckers a lot, especially in the industry. So I definitely thumbs up to that. Great job in that. Awesome, what your dad did and how you helped him, inspired him to do and be better, to live, longer and want to be around for your grandchildren and see them grow. That's awesome. That touched me. I'm not gonna lie. Because I have a cousin, a family member that died from heart disease, and now my cousin is actually widowed because her husband died and they had 5 kids, and it was about choices, and he didn't make those correct choices, and ultimately, you know, it was his demise. But if people would take that into account in the trucking industry, I don't think the obesity issue in our industry would be as prevalent as it is. So definitely great information. I appreciate it. And both of the speakers, awesome job. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much
Michael.
for sharing that as well, Michael. Miss Pam, are you available? I know you were on a walk even.
Actually, yes, I'm still walking. Thank you so much to all the speakers here, and much like everyone's sentiment been shared thus far. This is, I got a recent one. My daughter recently graduated from nursing school, and I love to walk. I would try to walk 5 miles a day, but I'm 6 weeks out of back surgery, but I'm back at it. I'm at 2.5 miles now, so I'm super excited. I'm on my way. But she was a bit overweight, and for her nursing graduation, she made it a goal for herself. She was like, Mom, you walk all the time. She was like, I want to do something. I want to be smaller when I put on my nurse's uniform for my graduation. And she did it. She lost 38 pounds. She looked at her pictures and she was like, wow, Mom, I actually did it. So inspiring our families, simple things. It's what's going to keep them here. I shared that I lost my uncle due to poor eating habits and just bad choices as a driver. And that entire generation, my mom and all of her siblings are actually deceased. So it's my personal mission along with you all. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for providing the ability for us to make change and make a difference. It should be all of our goals to want to be on this earth as long as we can and to share this information. So thank you all. And again, great season right now, pumpkin season. And with Donna, no pumpkin pie, maybe one slice and that's it. And then we go for a walk. So thanks, Lotta.
You're welcome. And look, pumpkin is a vegetable, you guys.
That's
It's
right.
a whole
It is.
vegetable.
It's unfortunately what we put in it, right?
Right. Awesome. And thank you for joining us on here as well. Miss Tasha, we saw that you came in. You kind of came in through the nitty gritty, but we want to yield to you to do an introduction and even give reflections if you're able to come on camera or mic.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tasha Harrison Springs. I'm the CEO and founder of Mindfully Aware Driving Solutions and the Advocacy and Outreach Director with ADA. Reflections. Right now, I am too on a weight loss journey. I'm doing a lot of yoga and different exercises. My thing right now is the elliptical, the treadmill, walking, and I do a lot of my exercise in the gym. But I have changed the way I eat. I don't eat as much meat, and I love kombucha, so that's something that we're drinking for probiotics and kefir, the yogurt. So um, I'm on this journey too. So we are not alone, and the healthy choices that we make, they are what's going to sustain us and keep us healthy and losing weight. You can actually eat food that can help you lose weight. I don't remember any of them right now, but it is food that you can, like grapefruit for one. You can eat that and it's helping you lose weight and it's good for your brain. So this is a good informational session. I appreciate it. Thanks, y'all. Thank you.
Thank you for being here and sharing as well. Mr. White, any reflections, questions?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm taking a lot of good notes here, but I got one question. And the gentleman mentioned fatty fish. Okay, the only thing I ever see in the store or what the wife brings home is tilapia. That doesn't strike me as a healthy kind of fish to eat. But that's all you see is tilapia this, tilapia that. When you say fatty fish, what type of fish are you talking?
Oh, absolutely. So, I would say avoid tilapia in general, even though it's delicious. It's amazing. To answer your
It ain't
question specifically,
that.
you're talking salmon, you're talking mackerel, you're talking sardines, right? You're going to be talking uh, wahoo is a pretty fatty fish. Usually, you're only going to find that on the Carolina coasts, Florida coasts, but some tuna can be healthy, but it's not as fatty as I'd say your mackerel, your anchovies, your sardines, your salmon. Those are really good fish for you because they're high in omega-3s and they're very beneficial for your brain and your heart health.
And I imagine baking, grilling is a lot better than frying, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Thank you much.
Yeah, you're
Awesome.
welcome.
Thank you. Look, I had a question. What about mahi? That's not too fatty,
Mahi,
is it?
mahi's not a very fatty fish. Not very many white fish are very fatty.
That's actually the part I have a challenge with. Well, catfish. What about catfish for anybody?
Oh, I'm sorry, catfish isn't very fatty either.
Oh wow, really? Okay. Look, I thought that's all catfish was. So
No.
no, it's a whole different thing. Well, awesome, you guys. Thank you. And I don't think I left anyone else out. And so in closing, I'd like to give the final word here to our president, Ms. Nicole Ward.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, thank you. First of all, that was so amazing and so informative, and I love the engagement. I'm in the background, like, yes, 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 because I'm all about healthy lifestyle. If you know me, I'm about a buck 05 on purpose. Because I have a lifestyle. I don't count calories like Garrett was saying. I just eat and I eat accordingly, and I've literally conditioned my body to say stop. And so I love that we're having these conversations because I always say health is wealth. Because without our health, we have nothing. You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't maintain your health, then it doesn't matter. And we're all working so hard towards our goal, guys. So I appreciate you both coming on here, just educating the community on the importance of making sure we remain healthy. So I thank you all for your call. I thank you for your time. Leaders, auto leaders, continue to mount up, guys. I love it, and I love you guys. Let's keep doing this. Have a great one, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. As we go ahead and close, I did forget, I'm sorry for both Raquel and Garrett to share your information for the camera because the chat is not being recorded. So we'll go Raquel first.
That's Raquel Perez. You can find me on Facebook as Raquel Perez. On Instagram, I'm there as the Raquel. That's RAQUELLEE. My number is 954-401-3330. And my email address is Raquel, RAQUEL, period, Plexus, that's PLEXUS, at gmail.com. And I am here to serve all of you.
Thank you. Garrett?
Hey, so you can find me on Facebook at this is gonna make you laugh. Garrett, so GARRETT, and then space A, Steenblick, STEENBLIK. My initials literally are gas. Like all I do is give it gas. So you can also find me at gas, GAS, the truck on Instagram. And right now for business inquiries, uh, I've heard a few of you here who I'm very interested in speaking with. You can find me at Garrett, GARRETT, at Truckers, TRUCKERS, body, BODY, shop shop.com. That is my business. We are preparing to go with a full press live, offering weight loss solutions, medical therapies, supplements, doctor intervention, workout programs, lifestyle management app, all for blue collar workers, truckers, their family.
Excellent. Thank you. I'm going to stop the recording.